2024, episode 64, the first episode of 2024.
Let's go. We started this thing back in 2021. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's not a COVID podcast anymore. It survived COVID.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of talk about, how many episodes we were going to get out in COVID and, how long this actually was going to go on. And 3 years later, here we are.
Yeah, and of course, you guys are hearing Brandon. Brandon's back for the first episode of this year, so that's big as well. There we go.
Yeah, shout out to Logan. I was a little MIA for the last couple months on episodes, so shout out to Logie. He's been doing a heck of a job. A ton of great episodes, ending out 2023. But yeah, we're super excited to be back for 2024. And I guess quick little shout out to our friends over at 13 Fishing Canada, Rapala Canada. They're back on board with the boys for 2024. So again, you can use our code all year long in 2024 to save 15% off on rapala.ca. All 8 or 9, I don't even know how many brands they're up to now.
The whole store.
Tons of savings across their entire website, all of their products, 15% off if you are a Wknd Warriors listener. So shout out to them as well as the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation. They're on board for 2024, and we couldn't be happier to have them. I think we're going to have some pretty cool things rolling out with them throughout the year. No time frames yet, but we're hoping to roll out a few products with them too. So
yeah, no, it's been good with them as well. We're definitely happy to have both those companies back on for this year. I actually just this Thursday went to the Moose Jaw Wildlife Federation Awards and Volunteer Appreciation Supper. So that was pretty cool to see. I helped out at the Buffalo Pound Derby that they put on in the winter there last year. I was kind of the weigh measure master, I guess, for some of that. So it's awesome. It's a youth tournament. So if you're an adult going in it, you need to have youth accompanying you as well. So you can't just enter it by yourself, but you can fish it as an adult. So it's definitely something to check out. They just announced it again for this year. So head over to their Facebook page and check that out. But it's tons of fun. The kids are, I don't know how many 3-4 inch perch I measured. Like it was hundreds of fish coming in, put them on the bump board. Yeah. Another 3.25, 3.75. And then the odd, bigger pike comes in and everyone rushes over to the table to see it. So it's pretty cool. But I wanted to mention with getting your membership with the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation, I know I got some of my buddies to hop on this year. I just renewed mine on Thursday night as well. It's an annual thing, obviously, with the membership. So definitely be sure to re-up on your membership there. You get the magazine, you get some insurance, some access to land, a bunch of great stuff. And it's just part of a good community to be a part of. That was the first supper I'd been to. And this is just the Moose Jaw branch, mind you, but it's the first supper I'd been to and met some really good people. Didn't know anyone except for Todd there who was putting on the supper. So I kind of just went over to the table. Hey, I'm Logan. Kind of, who are you? And sat there and got to know some people. So not something I want to do every time, but
that's the nice thing though, right? I mean, I like kind of going to those events and where you don't really know anybody. You start talking, everyone's there because they love the outdoors, hunting, fishing. They're all there for the same reason. It's easy enough to sit down, crack a conversation, get to know somebody. And honestly, every time you meet somebody, I love networking because you learn something from somebody. And if you don't learn something, at least you have a connection. Maybe they know something. Maybe you're, going to go fish a lake that you never fished before and they fished it. They got some tips for you. So, love it. That's fantastic. I mean, that's not my branch. Moose Jaw is not my branch. I just renewed mine too. And it's going to be a cool year. I mean, they have some awards and stuff for, every year, every branch has their awards for hunting and fishing. And then obviously they have the Saskatchewan Master Angler program too. So definitely go download the app if you haven't done that in 2023. Lots of opportunities to get rewarded for those big fish. Lots of big fish have been caught. End of 2023, early 2024 here. Obviously the weather was crazy over Christmas time. We had a brown winter or a brown Christmas, sorry.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then, you go from 0 degrees on Christmas Day to minus 50 for a week, 10 days is crazy. I feel like there were so many big fish caught in that warm period. And then that cold front just kind of turned everything off. But now it's warming up again and I'm seeing a ton of big fish photos.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny with being on socials as much as we are. You definitely see the waves that come with fishing, right? It's the early ice, fish pics everywhere, stories everywhere, stuff like that. And then as things kind of get cold and slow down a bit, you definitely notice it on the socials as well. So you can kind of see what's going on a little bit. And I mean, there was definitely people out in that -50. I guess we could get into that. I haven't fished in the new year yet. I fished quite a bit there, especially in December. Fished quite often, basically every day that I had available. And now it's just January's been so busy for me. I haven't got out yet. And actually, the first time I'll be fishing this year will be saltwater. So it's not even gonna be ice fishing for me. But did you get out at all there in December?
No, like, I mean, as you know, like I've been pretty busy, tied up with, work and business and getting that rolling. I haven't been fishing a whole ton. I've been out twice, once on Echo, once on Last Mountain Lake, very minimal, a couple hours only. Was great though. We had it out the one time, took the wife, Brooklyn, me and her brother were outside, we're bouncing around, hopping holes, trying to find that big fish, right? Brooke's in the tent by herself with the heater, keeping warm.
Yeah. As one does.
Yeah, and you can just, she starts screaming, right? I got one. You go in and sure enough, right? She's got like a 26-inch walleye. And that day I didn't even catch a walleye. I just caught tulipy and everything but a walleye. And she caught this big, beautiful walleye. So that was fantastic because she doesn't get out too much either. So like when she can get out, if you can get somebody that doesn't get out often and they catch a big fish, man, it's just crazy, right? And then they want to go back, obviously, and that's the whole point, right? But then she's explaining too, right? She lost her minnow and she didn't want to touch the minnow, so she didn't put a minnow back on her hook. So she was just down there jigging a bare spoon and caught this walleye. And I'm just like, wow. Like if I was to do that, right? If I was to just sit there and jig a bare spoon, I wouldn't catch a fish for days. And,
they just lick you off every time.
She caught this big, beautiful fish, and there's ton out there. Where we were, I know there was a lot of other big fish caught. Wasn't my day. Big deal, right? Just happy to get out. Went out a couple hours. Another day, didn't crush fish, but caught 10 or 15 walleye, some tulipy, couple pike, couple perch. So big multi-species day. So yeah, it was fun, right? Just getting that adrenaline going, having that feel of a fish actually on the rod. Definitely not getting out as much as I'd like, but what do you do? Life's busy, right? Like I'm just trying to start a business. So it takes up a lot of time and effort. And fishing definitely though, the last few years, it's been a big part, right? We've been trying to really get out there, get content and yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
Now I'm definitely more, if I can get the opportunity to go out there
and just enjoy it.
I'm not taking a GoPro or a camera and trying to shoot a YouTube video or anything like that. I'm just trying to get out there and turn my phone off and fish.
Oh, for sure. And that's the nice thing, right? When you can, like, I didn't do too much even there over the Christmas break. Like me and Dad went out at Buffalo a couple times and just kind of, we caught a couple nice fish. Obviously, you'll take pictures of that, but it was more just go out, enjoy it. Hadn't been out on the home lake much at all. Kind of with the way things froze over, it was kind of going to Last Mountain as soon as possible. And once that's good to go, and especially early ice, why go anywhere else when you can go there, kind of thing, right? So but it was nice. It was nice to get out there. And I guess you've got a trip coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah. I mean, over the course of this podcast, we've always been talking about lake trout and stuff, and I've never gone lake trout fishing. I've never caught a lake trout. Obviously, you've had the opportunity to go up north, and then you've guided, right? So you've caught lake trout, ice and open water, right? So for me, heading up north, just north of Candle Lake, and I think there's 4 of us going camping on the ice, and just really don't have any big hopes, no 40-inch dreams or anything I don't think are going to come true. But if I can just catch a handful of Lakers, that's really the goal. I just want to catch that one.
You got to start somewhere, right? So
just to get a feel, right? Because it's a completely different ball game from watching videos and everything, right? Like it's a completely different feel from say a walleye or or a pike. So, you know, and I've never fished in like 90 feet of water, right? So, I mean, I'm interested to see, you know, how the Garmin works. Obviously, been watching a lot of videos with live scope in those deep waters for Lakers, and you know, it looks unreal. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it's as good as advertised on YouTube videos in those
Oh,
big
yeah,
water
for sure.
columns.
Yeah,
So
no, it will be. And the nice thing is you'll be able to, like when I was ice fishing them, I haven't used the used the live scope for them yet,
yeah,
but or in winter at least. But it's pretty nuts when you see in those videos the way you can see them coming from the side. Because I know just when I've done it with 2D, it's insane watching them chase you up and down. So with actually being able to see it on live scope and them turning around and actually knowing what side they're on, where they're coming from and stuff, it's gonna be pretty sweet. And especially like you said, it's going to be more of just trying to find some numbers, trying to find some fish. Obviously, you won't say no to size, but that's going to be the cool part is you get lots of those little ones kind of fighting for it at once too, and you'll be able to see all of that instead of just one huge red mark and it's a couple fish moving up with you.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see them individually, so that'll be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think for me, like, right, it's just I'm so excited to just hopefully have a fish, you know, 60 feet of water and just have it chase me up the water column, right? Like it's just for me, it's like a video game, right? So it's like being able to watch that fish and then like I'm excited. Hopefully we can catch some Lakers. It's going to be a quick trip. It's just, you know, whatever, like a 36-hour trip, and you know 10 hours of that is driving. So
yeah, well, and you guys with camping, if there's burbot in that lake, you're gonna get tired. Well, actually, I don't know if that's possible, but
I will not say no to a big bird.
Yeah, no, there's gonna be, they usually go hand in hand, those fish together, but any experience I've had ice fishing lake trout, it's as soon as it starts to get dark, you drop into the dead zone or right to the bottom, because there's live scope's a lot better for not having a dead zone, and it's just burbot after burbot after burbot. It's insane. So that's another fun part about it too. So
I'm hoping I don't get any sleep. Let's just say that.
Well, you're probably not driving anyway, so you'll be good to go. You can nap on the way home.
No, not driving. Taking a couple snowmobiles, and so that'll be fun. It's, you know, quick trip, but just to get out there. I'm sure there'll be more lake trout trips in the future now that, you know, 3 years later, actually getting the opportunity to go. Have had a couple trips planned and canceled during COVID. And then, you know, whatever, life gets busy. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only trip that I got planned right now. Would love to do a little bit more come springtime. But come March, we're going to be busy with some other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of the main reason for this episode. Obviously, we don't have a guest on this episode, no interview, but the main purpose of this episode here, especially for our first one of the year, was to announce that the 2024 March Madness Classic is happening. So same exact tournament as we put on. Let's go. It's the same tournament that we put on last year. I put in the application early in December for this. Obviously, last year we kind of decided last minute to do it, and then it took a couple of weeks to get the actual application.
Took way longer than we expected.
Yeah, so I got it in early this year, put it in early December, and just got confirmation earlier this week that we are good to go. So we just kind of wanted to highlight that. We only had like 2 days to advertise it last year, and I think we still got almost 60 people entered. So we're hoping to get this thing, blow this thing up, get it as big as possible. I guess some of the key points here, Spark notes for it, $3,000 guarantee again that we're putting up through the podcast for this one this year. And then the nice thing with that is once we hit, like basically once we hit that, any entries above that are going to just add to the prize pool. We're not seeing any money from this. It's all the entries are going back into the prize pool. So that has a chance to get huge depending on the number of entries we get. Those cash prizes, we're going to have an adult and a youth side again, just like we did last year. So those cash prizes are going to be going to the adult side. And as of right now, we're going to be looking for sponsors for prizes for the youth side. So having said that, it's $60 for the adults to enter, $30 for the youth to enter. So adult cash, youth would be some form of product prizing, probably kind of like last year we had Rapala on there with the sponsorships. I know there was tons of great stuff. My little cousin won some of the stuff, and I got to see some of that. So ice fishing rods, lures, stuff like that, and some swag. So definitely some good opportunity there. Good opportunity if you're taking your kid out or whatever, get them entered.
Yep.
Like last year, we didn't have a ton of youth, so it's a pretty small competition pool, I guess if you want to say that. So higher odds of you winning something. Like my cousin won largest walleye at 13 inches because no youth entered any walleye. So kind of funny in that sense, but obviously we want as many people entering it, having fun. It's a fun competition here, especially in March Madness, right? One of the best times of the year next to early ice. So that's kind of what we're looking at. It's going to run from March 1st to March 17th. So that's from a Friday to a Sunday. That's going to get you 3 weekends in there. It's province wide. Forgot to mention that for people who don't remember from last year.
All of
province
Saskatchewan
wide tournament.
except for national park waters and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
so you can't. This doesn't the PA National Park. You can't fish in there. It's all outlined. This is through MyCatch. It's all outlined in the rules on the website there. But I think it's like CR1, CR2 waters, so catch and release waters aren't part of the tournament, and then PA National Park stuff like that. But otherwise, it's province wide. You can fish anytime between 6 a.m. Friday on the 1st and 6 p.m. on the 17th, that Sunday. So you basically, you can go out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can go out Saturday, Sunday, kind of whatever works for you. So it's
17 days.
Yeah. So I fully expect there'll be some people who fish every single day.
That'd be wild. I guess for a little bit of clarity too on that youth division. So that's 15 and under. So if you're, if you got a kid that's 15 and under, that'd be the youth category, $30 entry, adult $60. And yeah, like we said, like this is just this is something we want to run. We're guaranteeing $3,000 in prizing out of the podcast pocket, just to ensure that there's some sort of fun competition for everybody across the province. Obviously, you need to have a Saskatchewan fishing license. If you're coming out of province, there's no reason you can't enter as long as you're eligible with a license and everything. And yeah, it's going to be, we're going to have 3 leaderboards, 3 different species again, pike, walleye, and of course we have to have burbot. So yeah, we're going to have 3 different species, 2 different age categories, adult and youth, and across the board in Saskatchewan, it's going to be a crazy 17 days of fishing. We're hoping that we get a ton of people that enter, and there's a ton of fish caught and submitted as well, obviously. So
yeah, and I guess one thing for the prize breakdown as well, based on the lowest minimum payout, so that $3,000 total, it's $1,000 to each species, right? That's the way it's going to be broken up. So first place is what we're looking at right now will be first place for $650, second place $250, third place $100. Depending on what we get for sponsorships or whatever stuff like that, we could be looking at some other random prizes. But if that happens, we'll announce those. But that's the base payout right now for the adult division. Yeah. So that's guaranteed, whether there's 10 people in the tournament or 300. That's
so
guaranteed.
And there's a threshold, like Logan mentioned, like we're not realizing any money from this. Any money that is made over the threshold of that $3,000 guaranteed is being circled back into the prizing. So the more people that enter, the more money on the line for you guys to win.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely like seeing how it goes as we get signups and stuff like that. If it's getting huge, I would like to add more prizing. So that's one thing to check out for as well. We'll announce all that stuff if it happens. But if this gets huge, it'd be nice to have some other random prizing and stuff rather than just the top 3 getting paid out. So the other thing with that too is when you're entering these fish, I'm pretty sure the way that it works last year, I guess I should know, I was the one approving the fish. But like you can't take home first, second, and third place walleye. It's just your biggest fish for yourself, if that makes sense. And that just basically makes it so that more people can win. But you could take home first place walleye, first place pike, and first place burbot if you wanted.
Yeah.
If you are lucky enough. But just wanted to kind of point that out there too, because then someone goes out. I mean, good on you if you're able to do that, catch the 3 biggest walleye, but just kind of more chances for more people to win as well. So just wanted to kind of point that out. So that's another big thing there. But like we said, we wanted to announce this early. Still lots of time. Right now on the Anglers Atlas website, as of this recording, the event begins in 33 days, 13 hours, and 40 minutes. So
let's go.
There's time. Basically a month month and a couple days, right? So
month of preparation, marking your spots, testing the water, seeing where you want to go in those 17 days, and just hopefully cash out.
Yeah. So this episode will be going live once this event is actually live on the website. So as soon as you see this episode or listening to this episode, you can go and sign up. The event page will be live. It is on the Anglers Atlas website. Look them up. You go to events in the menu on the left and scroll till you see the 2024 March Madness Classic. And I will say, check out all the rules, stuff like that. There's rules on, because it's a catch photo release tournament. Didn't say that off the top. Kind of just figured that was obvious, but it's catch photo release. So definitely check out how you're supposed to take pictures of these fish to enter them as well. Because that's one big thing. There was a couple I had to disallow last year just because it wasn't done properly. So a couple quick points for that. You've got the left side of the fish facing up. So when you're taking your picture, the head is to the left side of the camera, the tail to the right side. You need to be able to see that the nose is touching the bump part of the board. You need to be able to see where the tail is. Just stuff like that. Kind of your general stuff there. But some people, whether it's the heat of the moment or whatever, it doesn't work out and kind of sucks, right? Because then I have to be like, well, according to the rules, because everyone else follows the same rules, right? So that's kind of one thing there. I know I've seen it in lots of the walleye tournaments. People get disqualified because of their overs and unders by like a centimeter or two kind of thing, and that obviously sucks as well. And we're not disqualifying people for measuring wrong because we don't have any of those limits because no one's keeping. But it just would suck to have to reject a fish for a mistake or something like that. So just wanted to point that out. Check out all the stuff. There's videos. They have videos on how they expect the fish to be measured and everything like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted to mention that.
And we'll over the next month here, or 33 days or whatever you said, we'll highlight some of the catches from last year's tournament. And we're gonna splash this around social media. If you guys are going to be entering, if you want to mention it to family, friends, let's blow this thing up. Let's make some big prize pools for you guys to walk away with. It's always fun when you can head out and fish and have something on the line. And I think that March is going to be some crazy fishing just with the weather and stuff we've had. It could be really, really fun. You're going to be heading out anyways. You might as well be trying to make some money.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the cool thing with this too is obviously there's like lots of tournaments that you're doing in the summer. It's pretty big entry fee, right? With these entry fees that we've done, it's kind of I guess like it's not like $60 isn't a lot of money, but it's definitely a lot lower than most other tournament entry fees, and with that youth one too, being even lower, right? We want to encourage as many youth to enter as well. So I don't know,
$60 over 17 days. Like you get 17 days to enter fish. So
well, and the biggest thing, like the thing for me, obviously, I won't be fishing it, unfortunately, with running it. But the biggest thing is like when I'm talking to people about it is where you're out there already fishing, right? You're going to be out there anyways. Kind of why not enter it with the lower entry fee? It's like who knows? Like the one guy's fishing with when we were fishing burbot. Some of my friends were in the event when we were fishing it. The one guy who wasn't, he caught a 35-inch burbot. And that would have won the tournament.
But he wasn't entered.
He wasn't entered.
You can't submit a fish after. You can't. Right. Yeah. Like so, you have to submit that fish in the spur of the moment. Right. You can't take a photo on your phone and submit that at a later time. Like it's got to be a live entry.
Yeah. All the entries are done through the app. Yeah, all through the app. And that's the other thing. You can enter once the event has begun, but just know, like if you entered at 10 a.m. on Saturday, you're heading to the lake, actually more realistic, 8 a.m., 7 a.m. on Saturday, we'll say, you can't enter a fish for 12 hours. So you can't enter a fish until 7 p.m. Basically, that's when your kind of freeze window ends, and then you're able to enter. If you enter the event before it kicks off, then you're good to go and enter a fish the minute the event starts. Like I remember I was driving out to Diefenbaker last year, the day the event started, and it's like 6, it started at 6, and at I think 6:15, the first walleye came in. And then like 6:30 was another fish. And I'm like, I'm not even to the lake yet. And we were going camping, so it wasn't too big of a deal that I wasn't there yet. But I was like, they're good to go. People camped out overnight before the event. and then woke up on the ice ready to go at 6 a.m. So
Yeah.
that's one thing there. You can enter after it started, right? It's a 3-week event. Like, just because you missed a weekend doesn't
You can enter on the
doesn't
last
matter.
day and catch the
Oh,
biggest
for sure.
fish and win.
Yeah, exactly. It's just know that you have a 12-hour window where you can't enter fish. And the reason we do that, obviously, is so that people aren't sitting on the sidelines until they catch a big fish and then entering. And basically, it's not fair to the other people that would have already entered the event, right? They haven't put up their
Yeah.
money. They haven't actually entered the competition yet. And then they just want to wait till they catch a big fish. No, not going to happen. So that's something good to mention that as well. Good that you brought that up, because that's a big part of it. So
No, absolutely. So yeah, we're super excited. We can't wait. It can't come quick enough. We're excited to see all the big fish. But yeah, help spread the word. Let's get this thing going. Let's just pump in some entries, and this is going to be a blast. We're super excited to be doing this for the second year in a row, and we're hoping that this is an annual thing for everybody to enjoy. Every March. So.
yeah, there was some big fish caught last year. It was awesome seeing those. We actually had the pike category was like centimeters separating some of the positions. So it's a good competition. There was lots of room for improvement in the walleye last year, and the burbot was still a good competition, but there's room there for bigger fish too. So it's not like the competition's over and done with before it even started. Like there's a chance that you can easily take home a prize. So you definitely want to head over to the Anglers Atlas website, head over to their events tab, and you'll see us live there in the first couple events. Sign up. I think you can pay MasterCard, PayPal, whatever, stuff like that. And don't be afraid to email us, text us, message us on Instagram if you have any questions as well. I know we had lots last year, and more than happy to answer any questions and try and help you get those entries in if you're having any troubles there too. But that was kind of the main point of this episode, was to announce that. You'll be seeing it all over socials, like Brandon said. We've got some episodes in the works. We've all been very busy. As I mentioned, my next time fishing will be saltwater. I'm heading to Costa Rica on the 8th of February here, so I'll be gone for 2 weeks there. But we do have some lines in the water, we'll say, for some new episodes. So definitely stay tuned for those. But head over right now. First, enter the tournament, and then head over to Rapala. Use our code Wknd Warriors. Save yourself 15% off on some baits that you're going to use to catch the winning pike, walleye, burbot.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're excited to see what's in store for 2024 and tight lines.